in 7/4. Stick around, and I'll show you how to play it. Okay, back with a cool groove that I just discovered. A lot of times when I'm playing stuff on the Roland kit, I'm coming up with ideas, I record them, and then they sit on a little USB drive. And every once in a while I'll come down and I'll go through these old ideas, right? And you can do the same thing on an acoustic kit. I used to do it. I had a little digital recorder, and I would record myself, and I've had all these bits. And I go back and I listen to some of them, and I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. And I try to write down what they are. So it's a good idea of writing down, like, because through the course of years, you're working on different things at different times, different songs. So anyway, I come down here, and I'm like, I haven't listened to any old stuff in a while. And I put on the old USB, and I hit the play button, and I heard this. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I heard this. And I thought, that's a pretty killer groove. Who played that? And then I realized it was me. Okay, so then I looked at it and it said Dave Weckl solo course. Aha. Okay, that brings me to the... So I remembered that probably about 3 years ago, or actually it was 3 years ago, about a year before COVID, I'm a huge, obviously anyone who knows me knows I'm a big Dave Weckl fan, a huge influence on my drumming. So I signed up for his online drum courses, and through the course, I was working on these concepts that he had for solos. Okay, so I was playing these concepts, and I was working on them, and I kind of had this solo down in 7/4, and I sent it to him. And so this lesson's about a couple things. So the first part is about messing around with the ideas. So I sent him this idea I had on this solo in 7/4. This groove was part of the solo, okay? And the video I just did a few days ago was talking about soloing and flowing around the drums. Those ideas came from Weckl's drum solo course. So most of those ideas, he had a lot more ideas, but a lot of that came from his solo course. So if you're interested in an online drum thing and you pay monthly for it, his is fantastic. I don't do it anymore. I kind of stopped when COVID came because I was trying to deal with everything that had to do with COVID at the time. So I sort of stopped back then. But a lot of the ideas that was on that last video for soloing came from his solo course. So I had this whole solo mapped out in 7, and I sent it to him. That was one of the perks of the course, is you can send him the things that you're working on. Well, he didn't respond to many things, and I didn't have much hope that he was going to respond to mine. But I sent it to him. And then I worked on it and then started working on other things. And, you're always working on different things. Okay, so this groove here pops up on my thing, Dave Weckl solo course. So I said, man, that's a killer groove. And then I thought of the last video with the soloing, and this was part of it. And when I mapped this out on my software that I use to show you all the stuff on the screen, it sounded terrible, right? There was no feel, there was no dynamics. I couldn't make it sound right. It's just the notes. So part of the lesson is this cool groove, how to play it. The other part is developing your feel and your groove. Now, luckily, and it was a tremendous honor, Weckl responded to my solo, okay? And I just appreciate somebody as great as he is making me feel a little special for about, a day when he responded. It was a thrill for me to have a guy who I look up to respond. And then he's actually said nice things, which is a plus, right? So, but I just want to, this was about 3 years ago. So I found it because I kind of lost it. I found some of what he said. I'm not going to say all of it because some of it doesn't make any sense. It has to do with this. But he said Dale Wilson, which is me. Perhaps you knew that. Man, impressive. That might be one of the best expression and dynamic aspects conveyed on an E-kit that I've heard in a while. Great. He says the initial idea is great and you work it nicely. Next step is composing the rest of the solo, because I was working on the solo course. Referencing is huge here. Check the solo course for more ideas to build on. I really enjoyed this, and this is the part that made my month. You have a great feel, regardless of the content, and that is half the battle. Bravo. So that was Weckl responding to my solo back in February of 2019. So the reason that came to mind again is when I put it on my software to play the solo, it had no feel and it sounded terrible. And again, I appreciate Dave for sending me those really kind words. He didn't have to do that, and it certainly made a guy sitting in Illinois really happy to have his idol say those nice things. But the point was taking it. He told me to go back, referencing, finish the solo, which sadly I never got around to finishing the solo. But there was parts of it, and this was part of the groove to this solo. So now I hear this groove, and I'm like, man, this is just a cool groove in general. And the last video was about the soloing. So I put it all together here. And my point is, I've heard students a lot come back to me and say, I'm working on this thing or this Sango pattern or Latin pattern or something, but it doesn't sound the way it sounds when you play it. This is the key. So I'm going to have this 7/4 groove that I came up with on the screen. And if you just play it as is, it's not going to sound like you just heard it as I open the video with the groove. There's nuance, there's groove, there's feel, right? Which is what he said. He talked about expression and dynamics. He talked about the feel. So you have to get real comfortable with concepts to start for your feel to form. And I also remember in one of my other videos, I have Jeff Picaro at the end of it from school, went back like 30 years ago, and he talked about the feel that he could listen to these grooves. I think he was talking about a Steely Dan session with a shuffle, and he could capture the feel. So important, capturing the feel, having a feel, right? And when I played this again, as I notated it out, it sounded terrible. It had no feel. It had no dynamics. Thankfully, that's the human aspect, right, of drummers playing. Otherwise, that drum machine would have taken everyone's jobs away, right? But the great thing is the drum machine could play a rhythm, but it can't play feel. It can't make it sound like a human. And so while it's good for certain things, and some music has no feel, sadly, and people like it anyway, don't know why. Hang on a minute, I'm going to give that 2 rim shots. Terrible, no feel at all, and people like it, don't understand it. But hey, whatever. You're looking for feel, you're looking for groove, expression, dynamics, okay? So when we play this and when we work on this groove, remember that they're just notes on a page. You've got to make it your own. And your groove and feel is going to be different than mine, and Weckl's groove and feel is definitely different than mine. And Omar Hakim, one of my favorite drummers for feel and groove, definitely different than mine. So everybody's going to have their own part to play. But there's one thing for sure, just like he mentioned, referencing and getting smooth and expression and dynamics help to get that feel and help to make the groove feel good. Okay, so that's what I want to have you think about as I put up this, what I think is a really cool groove that I probably hadn't played since back in 2019. And the other thing to remember is record yourself, whether it's on a Roland kit, an electric kit, or on acoustic kit. Record yourself and listen back to these things. This is a great groove that I have not even thought about in 3 years, okay? So this is the groove again, and I'll play it. I play it better at the tempo that I played it for probably in that solo, which is probably around 120 beats a minute. So, and I have the sticking on the screen. The sticking's obviously important. Now, you can do it differently with different sticking, but this is the groove, and it had to do with, again, the solo aspect. He was talking about stickings and groupings and flow. So this is the sticking that I came up with for this rhythm. And again, the rhythm is okay. So that's the basic idea of the groove, and you can mess around with it. There's different variations, okay? But it's in 7. So I'm going to put the metronome on. And I'm going to put the click on
1, 2, 3, 4, 5
with it counting, because I think that helps. And I'm going to put it at about 100 beats a minute.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3,
Okay, now that's at 100. At 80, we might need to play it slow to start, right? I don't know if I can even play it at 80. I haven't tried.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1,
Okay?
2,
And
3.
you can play it, you could try playing it with your it's a lot harder with the hi-hat. Why do I do these things? Why I have a camera over here. Why do I incorporate the hi-hat when I really haven't practiced the hi-hat much? But you know why? Because life is about trial and error, and we try things, right? And there's no editing, right? There's no editing. You try and you do the best you can, and you see that most people see the polished product. There's not much about me polished. That's my wife. Okay, but anyway, in 7, if we put the hi-hat, if we try it, and if I screw it up, I'll tell you, and you'll notice it. So 1, and with the hi-hat. All right, that was pretty good. Although I think I could probably tweak that a little better. I think I might have altered it a little because of the independence. But that's the idea. I like it with the hi-hat. I think it gives a nice balance of the groove. I like that. Okay, a little bit of a tweak at the end there, but otherwise it was pretty good. So the hi-hat is nice, but don't start it with the hi-hat. So if we start it, we try to break down the hand pattern for it, okay? So right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, kick. Okay, that's the first 3 beats. Okay, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, kick. Back. Now the snare, the only time we're hitting the snare is on beats 2, the and of 5, and 7. Okay, so that's the pattern. Backbeat on 2, the and of 5, and 7. Okay, and so the sticking for the first 3 beats: right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, kick. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, kick. Okay? Again, when I'm playing it like this, I'm not really playing the dynamics like I do when I'm performing it as when I'm teaching it. There's a difference in the sound. And you're going to have to capture the performance feel more than the practice feel to make it sound right. Okay? But this is, okay, so that's the first 3 beats. So then beat 4, we just have 4, E, and, right? Bass drum on the and of 4, 4, E, or 4, way, bass drum on the 1 and the and on the 3 and the in the first 3 beats. Bass drum on the and of 4, bass drum on the E of 5, bass drum on the E of 6, and then sometimes I put it on the of 6. It kind of varies. I don't know why. I just have a different feel sometimes. And there's some variations that you can do of this. But that's the bass drum part. So beat 4, though, 4, E, and okay? Then we have beat 5, right, right, left, right, 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 left, right. And that's the and of 5. There's that second backbeat. Okay? And then beat 6, we have right, okay? And then, what do I have written down there? I have a bass drum there, okay? So it's kind of open. 6, E, and 6, E, and 6, E, and then 7. 7, E, and right? 7, or sorry, 7, E, and 7. So that's the breakdown of it, okay? 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and first part, right? 4 E and then we've got 5 E and 5 E and 6 E and 7 E and okay? Together, if we try to play that. And again, break it down, play it bit by bit, and then try to start it from the beginning and kind of flow through it the best you can. Don't worry about dynamics so much. In the, let me see, I have the page here. In the, it says Killer Tom Groove, okay? It's pretty killer, I have to say. It's got the basic accents on the back of the snare, on the 2, on the and of 5, and on 7. But outside of that, it doesn't really have the nuance parts. There is an accent, also non-snare, the only other one that is sort of prominent, which is on the E of 3. Another one, okay, that's a prominent one, but there's no snare in that one. You put it all together and you flow with it and you wrestle with it and you play it, and then you, after you have it down smoothly, you start working in your own feel, your own groove, those dynamics, those little areas that make you you, and you come up with a great groove, even if it doesn't sound like mine, and maybe it sounds exactly like it, if you like that. But if you want, maybe you want to put another accent somewhere else, but you've got a cool tom groove that, again, think about the concept that I played 3 years ago, that I had on a USB drive, that I hit a button and it played, and I thought, wow, that was cool, which brought back the Weckl drum solo course and all this stuff. Record yourself, keep it going. So the groove again. If I put my friend the metronome on again.
1, 2,
at
3,
about 100
4,
beats a
5,
minute.
6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We crank it up to about 120-ish, something like
1,
that.
2, 3, 4, 5.
times I put an extra bass drum in on the of 6. There are times when I leave out the of 5. Gives it a little bit of hesitation there. So there's times I could leave that out. There's times you put a bit, so you're messing with it, right? You're fleshing it out. You're playing. So all of those things. But again, after you get it down, you have to develop that feel, right? You gotta make it feel good. And every 16th note might be various degrees of volume. Again, what did Weckl say about it? He talked about dynamics and expression, and then he talked about feel. I can't get over the feel part. But so all of those things go into making it sound good. If I played it straight without anything, I don't know. He probably wouldn't have commented at all, or probably would have had negative things to say. Maybe not. Hopefully not. But still, the point is, feel groove. Again, you got to work on that stuff. I can't tell you how many students they play a part. It happens in jazz all the time. Oh, we're going to work on jazz. Okay. Oh, I got this down. Okay, you have it down, but it has no feel to it, right? You have it rhythmically right, but it has no feel. So remember, just because you have a rhythm down, it has to feel good. Man, I remember that Picaro. Watch that video at the end of my shuffle video about the halftime Rosanna Shuffle. He talks, I wish I knew his exact quote, but he talks about the feel. And obviously one of the great groove drummers of all time. He talks about the feel. He can get the feel down. And so important. So it's not just the 16th notes, it's the nuance of the groove and everything else. Also, thanks to everybody who's liking the videos. Had some really nice comments. A shout out to there's a guy on my channel, Brian Drums. I don't think that's his real last name, but it's catchy, Always has nice thing to say. Thanks to him. Jaden Werner. These are new subscribers. Golden Hazel. Now there's a rock star name right there. Leonard Thalia and Maximus Giovanni. I mean, he should be working on some drum manufacturer. This guy somebody should scoop him up right away. That's pretty. I'm just Dale Wilson, so I should have changed my name to something a little more exciting. Anyway, so thanks to all those folks, new subscribers, new people liking the site. It's very exciting. So keep watching. Send me some comments. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. And I hope to have some more stuff for you. Watch some of if you want to go back again, the shuffle video with Jeff Picaro. You can fast forward me. Believe me, I'm not saying anything that Picaro isn't saying better. So you can get right to Picaro. You got to sit and listen to me for 10 minutes, and then you get to Picaro. But that's a great video. Again, thanks to Mr. Weckl for the kind words about 3 years ago. Made me feel pretty special for a day. And hopefully I can convey some of that to you. And if you're looking for an online drum school, Weckls is fantastic and he's probably even better now. That was 3 years ago, so I'm not sure the cost, but it's really a great place with all, and you can interact with him. Look at that. He's actually interacted with me another time. If you go back, I did a video on Rumble. I had a student who wanted to work on Rumble, the Chick Corea Electric Band song, and we could not figure out, there was a part in Rumble that me and the student could not figure out. I couldn't understand how someone can play that. And then I thought, well, it's Weckl, so probably he can play it. But no, it was even more than that. So we're trying to figure out, we couldn't figure out. And then through the school again, I emailed him and said, hey, what's up with this Rumble part? And again, he was gracious enough. He wrote out the Rumble groove, and he said, yeah, there's a reason you guys can't play that part, because there's a sequencer playing half the track, and I'm playing to the sequencer. So there you go. My student was relieved, because we're trying to figure out how to play a part and the sequenced part. And then Weckl sends us the email and says, no. This is the part I'm playing. This is the sequenced part. So that made it a lot easier. Anyway, that's a good video. You go back. I don't know if I even mentioned that at the time. Maybe I did. I might have found out afterwards. I don't know. But it's a great song, and cool little background information on that. So practice, practice, practice. Killer groove in 7/4. Really liked it. Jumped out at me. Believe me, I listened to some of the other things I had on the USB. Not quite as good. So you never know. I mean, some stuff, and then you don't know what you were thinking on that day. Why did I record this? What was special about it? Was it for a song I was wearing? Who knows? But this one stood out. Let's see. This one was cool. And again, I'll go out playing the groove. So practice, practice, practice. Like and subscribe. Thanks to all the new folks and the old ones as well. And work on this groove. Killer groove. Great toms. Just a super. I just think it's really kind of a cool odd time thing on the toms, which and then of course work it into other things, put it into a solo. Bonus feature, the groove I was playing, I had a lot of reverb on that groove. I like reverb. I had a lot of reverb. It was kind of a big sounding, rock sounding. So I thought I'd play the same groove, which is sort of just a classic sort of maple drum kit sound. So you get the sound of what that's like without all the reverb. So again, the killer tom groove goes something like this. There you go. There's the groove on more of a traditional sounding kit. Tip number 2, which I didn't mention, bonus. You get 2 bonus extra if you wait till the end of the video. You just never know. Always something exciting. There's a little tip for you. Notice these holes. These are my cheat notes here. You notice these holes because at one point I didn't have my music stand when I was practicing, and I put this on my hi-hat stand like that, and voila, I have a music stand attached to my hi-hat stand using holes in the paper. This, by the way, lifesaver if you're on a gig and you don't have anywhere to tape your notes or whatever. Right here, you put your notes right on your hi-hat stand, little bit of hole through there. Looks a little crazy, a little hard to read if you're using your hi-hat, but you'll have to adjust it. But there you have it. 2 tips. Right there, hi-hat placement for the notes. You can't get this anywhere else.